know I'm important if I have theme music. Unfortunately, unlike the other two, this is a very serious speech. No funny jokes in it, so I apologize. I'd like to start with a true story. It was the last year, it was about a month after my brother's wedding. I was at work, bored, and I was starting to think about things I could have said during his best man speech. And it got me on to thinking about Derek's best man speech. And I actually started writing things down that I would say during the speech. Later that day, he calls me and says, guess what? I just got engaged. Will you be the best man? So that was kind of weird. The same day I started this speech, they got engaged. So I had a lot to do with it. But again, this is a serious speech. I was watching the news recently, and I heard a beautiful haiku about love that I'd like to share with everyone. Are you more surprised that I was watching the news, or I know what a haiku is? Yeah, me too. It's not real. It goes like this. You don't need money. Don't take fame. Don't need no credit card for my history. It's strong and it's subtle, and it's cruel sometimes. But it might just save your life. That's the power of love. That news program was called Huey Lewis and the News. I've been friends with Derek for over 19 years now. I've liked him for a solid 2/3 of that time. I want to clear the air. I only started hanging out with him because his house smelled like a pipe. But as Ashley can attest, he grows on you. So, after a while you're like, he's okay. So, a lot of people say that me and Derek have the same sense of humor and personality. And to be honest, I couldn't think of a better compliment for Derek. I was trying to dig up some dirt on Derek. I hope you don't mind. I called one of your ex-girlfriends. And so I called her, and this is what she said. I'll read it to you. She said, thanks for calling. The first 5 minutes are free. Every additional minute is $3.95. Must have a valid credit card and must be over 18. You get it? You get it? You get it? There's a phone sex operator. By the way, Cinnamon says hi. A few things you might not know about Derek is that these are all true, by the way. Derek was named after Derek and the Dominoes, which was a band with Eric Clapton. That's true. In middle school, Derek was the 3rd best trumpet player in Western Pennsylvania. Look up the rankings. Do they have rankings or no? All right, I don't care. It's made up. Derek is colorblind. That's true. I don't know what that means. I'm not a doctor. I believe that means you're allergic to crayons. Okay. By the way, Ashley, these are lovely blue vests. Let's see. Derek has one sibling, an older sister, Tiffany. And it's ironic that she's a teacher because over the years she's taught Derek a lot. Mostly what not to do. Some of the things that Derek has learned from her is never use a fake ID at nicked ribs, especially with your parents at the table. Talk about a problem. It didn't even look like you, Tiff. One of the other things, and most importantly, never date a Flyers fan. That's this guy. But at least she helped you find really good neighbors. Thank you. Thank you. In high school, Derek was on the golf team and the tennis team. I was on the bowling team. Now I know what you're thinking. Wow, you must have rolled your high school and beat the ladies off with a stick. Well, surprisingly, we didn't. It's actually, we faced a lot of ridicule. There was a couple bullies. One in particular, I remember they used to make me cry. Derek, you remember. But Derek finally stood up for me and he said, listen, Mom, you leave Steve alone. He's a nice kid. I'm just kidding. Even though she refuses to cook for me and screens my phone calls, she's a lovely lady. She loves her kids very much. You could say she's his #1 fan. But seriously, I'd like to be honest for a second. I would like to thank all of Derek's family and all of his friends for helping him turn into the man he is today. He's going to be a great husband. He's a great friend. You're in for a good life. Now let's move on to Ashley real quick. Most girls, they're looking for Mr. Right. Ashley wasn't looking in all the right places. Her journey began in Squire's Manning swimming pool. That's where she first started hunting for the guys, but Mr. Right wasn't there. When that pool dried up, it's a pool. Okay, all right. When that pool dried up, she started looking at South Park High School. Unfortunately, only boys were there. She was looking for a man. So she went to the manliest place she could think of, Abercrombie and Fitch. Unfortunately, the people that shop there often don't look like the models, so she struck out there too. But then it was off to college, in a classy joint called the Cell Block. I don't know how you didn't find Mr. Right in a place called the Cell Block. I know, right? But then, she got a real job downtown, and she met a man named Derek. And she was so happy, and he was so nice. He always complimented her how good her gray dresses looked, even though they were green, blue, and red. He's colorblind. But Ashley, I do want to thank you for having a great sense of humor, a great laugh. Even though you're robotic and won't cry, we still love you. But I do want to finish with one story here. They say that if you want to know what your wife's going to look like in 30 years, you look at her mother. Well, the same could also be said if you want to know what your husband's going to look like in 30 years, look at his father. Well, due to an incident that happened in Ocean City that I can only describe as traumatic and awkwardly arousing, I saw Vince Diethorn naked. And Ashley, I want to let you know, your future looks good. Slightly hairy, but good. So I'll tell you what, let's raise our glasses. To a wonderful future. May you forever be hairy. I mean happy. Forever happy. All right, let's give Steve a nice round of applause. Good job, Steve. Thank you. Now we're going to